a student teacher, and today I'll be talking about how balanced and unbalanced forces affect the motion of objects, using examples from around my home. There are forces all around us, and most of us are familiar with the push and pull forces. Isaac Newton did a lot of work on forces, so much so that we even measure units of forces in newtons. Now, Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest will remain at rest. An object in motion will remain in motion at the same speed and direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Now, what did he mean by this? Well, let's start by looking at balanced forces. Forces are balanced when the forces acting in different directions are equal, and forces are unbalanced when forces acting in different directions are unequal. Take a look at these blocks on the table. They're sitting at rest. Now, there's a couple of forces acting on these blocks. There's a downward force caused by the weight of the blocks, which is caused by their mass as well as gravity. There's also an upward force. This is called the reaction force, and that's caused by the surface. Now, the reaction force is usually equal to the downward force. And if I were to add another set of blocks, I'm increasing the weight there, and so I'm increasing the force that is going downwards, but at the same time the normal reaction force is also increasing to meet that force. So these objects are still at rest, but when I apply another external force, I'm going to push this here, the objects move. Now, there is a frictional force acting in the opposite direction, but that is not as great as my pushing force, and so the objects are accelerating in one direction. Take a look at this toy caterpillar. It's at rest again. The downward force and the upward force are balanced, so it's at rest. And if I were to apply just a little bit of force, you can see that it's not moving, although the rope is taut. That's because the frictional force is equal to my pulling force. If I just pull a little bit harder, it reaches and passes the limiting frictional force, which is the maximum frictional force, and the object accelerates. Let's take a look at a couple of other examples. The pool table. The balls on this table are at rest, again because of the downward force and the upward force are equal, so the forces acting on these balls are balanced. When I hit the white ball, I'm introducing another force into the picture, kinetic energy, and the balls will scatter. When I use the cue to hit the white ball, I'm exerting a pushing force onto that ball, which is greater than the frictional force which resists it. When the white ball hits another ball, there's forces acting on all the balls which are being hit. As the white ball hits the other ball, there is an external force, and the white ball changes direction. The other ball also comes into contact with a force, and so accelerates in another direction. As the ball is rolling, there's frictional force acting in the opposite direction to which it's rolling. And because there's no longer a thrusting force, the frictional force will eventually cause the ball to stop. Once the balls are all resting again, the forces acting on them are balanced. So in this video, we looked at how balanced and unbalanced forces affect the motion of objects. Like Newton's first law of motion states, when the forces on an object are balanced, that object will remain at rest or moving at a constant velocity. And when the forces acting on an object are unbalanced or are greater in one direction than the other, then the object will accelerate or decelerate. So have a look around your house and see how balanced and unbalanced forces affect the movement of objects that you see every day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.